I am all about gift giving when it's spontaneous and it's thoughtful. And, I saw something in the store that I know Michael likes or made me think of Michael or something that I just thought he would like. And I just felt like getting it for him. That's super sweet. That's a great way to show you love someone. But I hate this fucking holiday gift giving shit.
This corporate bullshit. Fuck the man, dude.
This corporate capitalist regime shit.
Nobody tells me to give gifts.
Two best friends just blowing out, talking about what's going on. We might talk about politics or what I bought off Amazon. It's bottle up and explode. Yeah! Woo! Fuck yeah! It's bottle up and explode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bottle Up and Explode with Bryson and Michael. I'm Bryson.
I am Michael.
And Michael, how are you doing today?
Whoa. I'm doing pretty good today for once.
Yeah.
We record on Mondays, which is my off day off of work. But also, sorry, I have my drink in my hand. Because I just went to lunch with my best friend, Eric, who's in town.
Oh, yeah?
And we talked about this recently because I said he's my best friend, and you kind of looked at me kind of weird about it. You were like,
hold
I
on.
was your best friend.
Okay. Total preface. I did not look at him weird about it. He looked at me weird about it because he had this own guilt in his brain about calling Eric his best friend. I did not give a fuck whatsoever.
I for one, looked at you weird about it. So, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
Brandon
fine.
is also one of my best friends. Shout out to our editor, Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. Well, yeah, just if I make it back to, Eric, my best friend in the whole wide world. I'm sorry, guys. Well, I say that. Let me say this. Okay. Eric has been upgraded to brother status because he has stayed at my house so many times. I've stayed at his house so many times. We've also fucked.
As most brothers do. Shout out to Travis.
Yeah.
Shout out to our brothers that we fuck. I'm just kidding. No, Eric and I are on brother status. I do have a brother. His name's Jimmy. Shout out my brother Jimmy. We do not fuck. No. But Eric and I have we've been best friends for 22 years. We know everything about each other. So we've upgraded each other to brother status. But yeah, he's in town. He lives in St. Louis now. He moved there about over a year ago now, and I haven't seen him in a really long time. And so it was really nice to be able to see him, spend some time with him. I had lunch with him today with his sister Jackie and his new girlfriend. Shout out to Maddie. She's really great, really nice. Like her. Hope they get it together.
Hope they get it together.
That's loaded.
That's terrible.
Fucking suck.
So my best friend's in town with his girlfriend Maddie, and they're great. They're really great. They're yin and yang.
I met Eric, correct? Me, you, and Eric.
Did you just say yin and yang?
Oh wow. Okay, so now I'm offending the Asians today. Huh?
Got that out of the way early, Michael.
That's the target. That's the target of our ire this week.
We've met the quota, guys. That's enough.
Thank you. So me and Eric, I met Eric once, right? I think we had a pizza party. Okay. So first of all, we're not 12. We're at Michael's house and we ate pizza and partied. It was 3 separate events. But
Michael's
I met
house
him. Correct?
Pizza and a party.
Yes.
Michael pizza party. Yeah. I think you did. We've been best friends for a long time.
I'm pretty sure I met him.
He's been there for every significant moment of my life. And he was there for some pretty shitty moments of my life. And that brings us to today's episode of
Painful stories from Michael's past. They're getting stuffed in the locker or thrown in the trash. Stores getting pants, or his wedgies bullied. It's Michael gets bullied.
Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. Today's segment of Michael Gets Bullied is shaping up to be right wonderful.
Oh, it's going to be a good one today, folks. So, Eric, I was going to have Eric come on originally and tell the story himself, but we ran into some issues with his schedule, but also because we didn't want Bryson's friends to get butthurt, and I just wanted to take a quick moment here to address Bryson's friends and say, you will never be on this show.
God damn it.
You will look at me. What's one of your friends' name? Give me one.
Paul.
No, just one. Paul, I just want this one specifically at you. You will never be on this show, you son of a bitch.
That's so heavy-handed. Paul's going to be genuinely upset about that.
I'm just kidding, Paul. I'm just kidding. Let me be lighter about it.
Well,
You'll
no,
never be on the show.
The reason I said it to you is because we had agreed that we weren't going to have any guests, and then you said you were going to get him to have him on. And I was like, God damn it, he's going to open the floodgates of people trying to.
But I wanted him to tell the story because I was like, he was there for it, but also maybe there were details that I missed or forgot about or that I blocked out. So this on this story, we're in the locker room. It's that motherfucker Brendan Phillips again.
Did we already say fuck Brendan Phillips?
Yeah, we did. But fuck him again.
For observant bottle up and explode listeners, you'll know that fuck Brendan Phillips. Brendan
Phillips. I'm sure he's a nice guy now, but fuck him during this time of my life. Or maybe he's a douche still. Who knows? But anyway, so this was 6th grade, and he started bullying me back in 3rd grade. So it had continued all the way up into here. And again, this was like 6th or 7th grade, and we're in the locker room. And I knew it had come to like our fighting had come to a head. It was like, oh shit was about to happen. I'd had enough. And we're in the locker room. He had said something. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm fucking sick of you. He's like, what are you going to do about it? And then we get in each other's face, and I go, fucking hit me. No, you fucking hit me. No, you fucking hit me. And it just turns into a you fucking hit me battle.
Did y'all have one of those like shoving matches?
No, we didn't even shove each other because we were both being pussies about it. And I was just like, oh, God damn it. I'm so scared. Like, I'm like shitting myself like in this guy's face. Like, we're like screaming, hit me, hit me. Okay, did you have a rule? And Brandon, I open the question up to you as well. Did you ever have a rule in school? And maybe Columbia County students relate with this. Did you ever have a rule that, how many times can I say rule? Did you ever have a thing where a self-defense rule that if you got hit in the face at least 3 times, you could hit the person back without any consequence?
See, I didn't have, so no. Throughout, I'm just going to go and answer. I'm going to give you the short answer, and then I'm going to tell you the funny answer. So the short answer is no. Never had a rule like that through any of my school. But I did have a rule enforced by my parents for much of school where if anybody said anything to you ever, you hit them in the face. It was a very different rule. It was a very different, standard to be held to. So you had to get hit in the face 3 times. The rule that my mom gave me when I was little is if anyone said anything ever, punch them in the face. And
I mean, I don't know. I defended my brother from a bully one time, and I was bullied myself, but I defended my brother one time, and they didn't say shit to me. So I don't know. Maybe there's exceptions to that kind of stuff, and I don't know. Let the viewers note that I just
I'd like to let our listeners know that Brandon just spilled an entire bottle of water.
My entire is really strong. It's like a half a bottle.
Half a bottle is still.
It's fine. I wanted
it did the damage.
Enough for him to be bullied about it.
It's hot.
Enough to be bullied about it. Enough to be considered a P-shirt.
Brandon gets bullied.
Brandon gets bullied. No, so they're screaming at each other, and Eric is standing there. And I just talked to Eric about it today, and he said, I was just in my heart, like, just like, fucking deck this guy. Fucking hit this guy in the face. And we're just screaming at each other. And then he goes, they're just, like, came a point where we just all knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And the coach comes in, Coach Atkins, shout out to Coach Atkins. He doesn't listen to the show. But he came in, he's like, hey, knock that shit off. And then we just like, oh, you're lucky Coach came in here because I was going to beat your ass. And in my heart, I was like, thank God.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Coach. Thank you, Coach, for saving my ass.
Bryson, have you ever had to stand up to a bully? Or
So I got bullied a lot in like elementary, middle school. And in elementary school, I'm just going to go and say yes. A lot more times than I can count, really. Like, I would get into, like, little scuffles all the time in elementary school. In middle school, it started tapering off a bit because I was becoming noticeably larger than everybody else. And my personality was blooming a bit, so I guess I was less of a target for bullying. But I do remember this one memory in middle school where I'm outside in the hallway at my locker between classes. And this kid who was in a bunch of my classes and had been fucking with me, intermittently for weeks, he comes up and he's fucking with me again. And I just had enough. So I grabbed this kid's head, and I'd been watching a lot of UFC at the time. So I grabbed this kid's head from behind and just kneed him in the face. Just in the hallway. Just gave him a Muay Thai straight to the nose. Ooh. And he didn't fuck with me after that. So Yes, I have stood up to some bullies.
God damn. I didn't like give a follow up to P-shirt story. So for our listeners that missed episode 1, one day in middle school, somebody pushed me while I was peeing. It's a classic trick.
Classic prank.
And I peed all over my shirt. And like somebody tried to do it to me a week later, like 2 weeks later, and I feel so terrible about it. But I grabbed the dude by the throat and I slammed him against the stall, and I was like, "Don't do that to me."
That's exactly what you should have done. Why do you feel bad about that?
The second time, well, I mean, this kid was like, he was a nicer guy. He was just like fucking around, and he probably didn't deserve it. Yeah, he did. Fuck you, asshole. You did deserve it, douche. But no, I retaliated. I stand up for myself sometimes. But this has just been another segment of
Michael gets bullied.
Oh man. So this weekend was Father's Day.
Yes, today is Monday the 22nd, so yesterday was the 21st. Father's Day for you keen calendar observers out there.
Gino, my father, we celebrated Father's Day. We got to hang out a little bit, which was nice. You came over by the house. We edited.
Me, you, and Gino were chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, we made sure the podcast was ready to go for last episode 2. Gino came by, hung out a little bit. Got him some nice stuff for Father's Day. Got him some gift cards and lottery tickets. What a 67-year-old man wants.
Well, I went and visited my 48-year-old father also, and it was pretty chill. He was cooking up some fajitas. I went out there. I was getting text messages from Brandon and you the whole time about fixing different errors in episode 2. So I was while we were hanging out, I was doing a lot of that.
We'll do better.
I'm trying. But so, fixing problems in episode 2, a wonderful episode 2 that by now has a glorious rating and public perception.
Apple Podcasts, we've got 3 5-star reviews. One of them says, "That's my son." Waves Mary Fortino.
That's funny. So yeah, me and Tony, we hung out. It was pretty chill. He was cooking. Nothing too serious when me and him hang out. It's always very laid back. Good times.
The whole family was there for this. It's a whole family gathering on Father's Day for us. We do gifts. As I mentioned before, I got him lottery tickets because that's just his thing. You can never go wrong with lottery tickets. But I also got him a Wendy's gift card because, my God, my dad likes Wendy's. He'll get chili any time of the year. It's chili time any time of the year.
I thought you meant chili as in like he was cold, like he was having trouble maintaining his temperature, but now I understand that he's getting fucking...
But also that because...
He's getting fucking disgusting Wendy's chili. What the fuck?
He also, I'm sure, does have trouble with that because he's so fucking old.
It's funny. About a week ago, Marvin, shout outs to Marvin, told me that I should get chili from Wendy's, and I told him that I believe my exact words were, "Don't be a silly Billy. I would not be willy-nilly getting my chili."
Wow.
Classic B-Chap joke right there, dropped on Marvin.
You ever consider doing jingles?
Yeah, no. I have thought about that a lot.
But I don't usually know what to get my dad. I usually get him sentimental things, but he never appreciates it. Like, I got him a Nick Chubb jersey because we're big Cleveland Browns fans. Shout out to the dog pound. Yeah, I did it.
Insert cricket sound here.
Don't do it. There are dog pound fans out there. But I'm just saying, so Nick Chubb is the running back for the Browns, and I bought him a jersey, like an authentic game jersey, to wear, and he was on his way to Cleveland to go see a game with his best friend. They do it annually. It's real cute. And we're on the way. I'm dropping him off to the rental car place, and I turned to him, and he goes, "Oh, I forgot my jersey." And I swear to God, I turned that motherfucking car around. And I mean, we were about to pull into the place. I said, "Yeah, fuck no." I turned around and I drove all the way back home, and I said, "You will wear that jersey to the game."
God
I said, "I spent too much money on it and too much of my heart I put into this gift. You're gonna wear it. And you know what? I got him like Cheech and Chong shirts because he likes Cheech and Chong. Other shirts that he
fucking
likes.
would.
And guess where those shirts are now? In my drawer because he doesn't wear them anymore. So I was like, fuck this. No more sentimental gifts, lottery tickets, and Wendy's gift cards for you.
Well, so talking about gift giving, that's what I feel is the best way to give a gift is something utilitarian like that. You know, why try to be sentimental? I sound like such a fucking dickhead. Why try to be sentimental when getting someone gifts is essentially what I'm saying.
Well, I think some people have a difficult time expressing themselves. And I think that is an opportunity for someone to really, really get in there and get you something nice. You know what I mean? For example, my ex-girlfriend, Maria, shout out to my ex-girlfriend, Maria.
We're shouting a lot of people out today.
We're shouting a lot of people
We're
out
on a
today.
tear.
But we were sitting outside once, and she was talking about how much she liked fuzzy socks. She likes fuzzy socks, right?
Yeah.
Curly socks. She likes curly socks, ones that are really difficult to put on. You kind of have to keep twisting your foot. You got to skanky leg your foot into the sock. No, so she likes fuzzy socks, but she also likes Rick and Morty. So it was like, oh, bam. That shows, like, I understand what she likes. I understand what she needs. And it shows that I listen. It's a three-way win. And that goes for your family, your friends. You just shows them that you listen, you care. Like Brandon, for my birthday, he nailed it. He got me a Cleveland Browns lunchbox. Why? Because one, I love the Cleveland Browns, as I had mentioned before. Two, he's seen me sneak in my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to work every day. And he was like, you probably need to put it in something safe. And three, it's just something thoughtful.
I mean, okay, so while I'll definitely agree that gift is a very good gift because as I said a moment ago, I very much support gift giving of the utilitarian variety, right? Things that are useful. And in that case, Brandon and you both did a great job. And you also incorporated all this other bullshit about listening to them and knowing
It's true, though.
All this other
true.
silly shit.
Fuck you.
But the main thing to me is something that somebody can use. That's why I always say that the best gift is just cash. Because they can just do whatever with it.
That's so thoughtless.
Who gives a fuck? You show your thought. I don't know, man. To me, gift giving is just a big it's like a big circus to see who can prove how much they care about the other one a little better. It's silly. I don't think it's dumb.
Okay, I think some people do that. And
I feel like I'll venture out to say most people do that.
My sister is a little like that. My sister Christina. She's like always competitive about how much she spends on gifts, and like she gets my mom the nicest things, which is cool, which is fine. But I always get my mom the gifts that she'll like always remember. Special gifts. I got her tickets to see James Taylor. It's her favorite musician. I'm like, you can't put a price on a memory like that. It's her favorite musician, good seats, listen to him. I mean, you can't beat that. And again, it's like when I buy gifts, I'm investing in their reaction. I know that's kind of selfish, but
it's very, very conceited.
Is it really?
I mean, it's not okay. So it's not so much conceited as it is like it's kind of
not the reaction for me, but more of their joy.
Well,
I'm
it's
invested
like
in their joy.
It's like you're placing your own ego into what should be something for them, right? Like you're sitting here. So I'm also a big believer that no action is an entirely selfless action, right? So you could say that in that situation, you're trying to do a good job of giving them this gift so you can see a really like to yourself warming reaction from them. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Obviously, again, because of your lack of Disney culture, you've never seen Disney's The Santa Claus 2 with Tim Allen, where he is in fact searching for a Mrs. Claus. And in this, let me explain. In this
motion picture,
in this hit motion picture, Tim Allen is Santa Claus. Shout out to Tim Allen and Santa Claus.
And Disney.
And Disney. Tim Allen is at a teacher's Christmas party, right? And the party's really lame. And then he uses some of his Santa magic because he has a watch. He has a little bit of Santa magic. He uses the Santa magic to remember all of the teacher's favorite childhood gifts, right? So he uses that memory to find find out what everybody wanted as a child but never got, right? So all of a sudden he's like, hey, Santa came, and he's got a bag full of stuff. Who's been somebody? He's like,
Who's Ben Dover?
who's been...
Who's Phil McCrevice?
Who pranks Santa? Who pranks Santa?
All right, this next gift is for Mike Oxlong. So you bring up the Santa Claus too.
Hold on. Let me get to it.
Finish it, because I got some thoughts on Santa.
Oh God, now we're back.
I have some hot takes on Christmas.
So he pulls the present out. He gives it to the teacher. The teacher's so miserable. It's like a lame party, and he opens it. He's like, "Oh my God, it's a Rock'em Sock'em. I always wanted this as a kid." And you see his face light up, and it's like, "Aw." It's like shit. It like brings in a spirit of somebody. So he gives him the gifts, and then every teacher there gets the gift. And then at the end of it, the Mrs. Claus, the soon-to-be Mrs. Claus, gets the doll she always wanted as a child, and it ruined her. Not getting that doll pretty much ruined her childhood. And I understand what you're saying, like, but people put their love in certain things, whether it's animals or dolls or toys or whatever, or video games or chess.
He's trying to play on my weaknesses.
Yeah, you're like, thank goodness I'm finally got this PlayStation 1 game I always wanted, and I'm like, 40 now. That's
But
cool.
people tie it to their past traumatic things.
So so while this concept of getting people the gifts they never got is very sweet and very, very good, I would like to formally state that I think like holiday gift giving, right? So this is what I'm really against. Okay, so let me really make it super clear how I feel about gift giving. I am all about gift giving when it's spontaneous and it's thoughtful, and I saw something in the store that I know Michael likes or made me think of Michael, or something that I just thought he would like and I just felt like getting him for him. That's super sweet. That's a great way to show you love someone. But I hate this fucking holiday gift giving shit.
This corporate bullshit. Fuck the man, dude.
This corporate capitalist regime shit.
Nobody tells me to give gifts.
I just think it's fucking lame. So like, I don't fuck with giving gifts on Christmas.
Nobody tells me when to celebrate the Lord's birthday.
I don't celebrate birthdays. I mean, I celebrate them, but not like with gift giving, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all that shit. All that shit. Gift giving.
That seems to work out really
stupid.
well for you, man.
Hey, I promise you, I'll feel this way when I'm a father one day as well. I don't ask for things on my birthday either or Christmas. So
nobody asks for things on their birthday. Nobody asks for things on Christmas.
But there's an expectation.
Unless assholes.
You'll be a terrible father.
Me?
No, this guy.
Oh, this guy, yeah. Well, I mean, Brandon's
my future kids better look
Brandon's
out.
a dad. He just celebrated Father's Day. But by the way, happy Father's Day, Brandon.
Happy Father's Day,
Thanks,
Brian.
guys. Appreciate it.
Not getting you a fucking gift though.
What are your views about your gifts? Do you get any gifts on Father's Day?
Oh my God, I got like the best fucking gift. My wife got like this literal gigantic piece of artwork commissioned to go in my game room. I'm a big board gamer guy. And it's like my whole family like playing around the table, but like it's like in this fucking fantasy like giant wizard's bookcase kind of shit. It's pretty fucking incredible.
That's pretty fire, actually. That's pretty. Yeah. I'm back on the gift giving train.
Yeah, right. When you want that, come on, don't be an asshole.
But you see what I mean? I just think this like holidays, situations like that where there's this expectation and there's this stress to buy and give gifts. I just think that kind of ultimately ends up missing the point of what you're really, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's just like I said, I think we're all in this room very emotionally expressive people. Like we don't suppress our emotions. We let it out. We explode, if you will. I'm an exploder.
I'm definitely a bottle upper.
But you explode with me. We explode.
I mean, occasionally.
We explode all over each other.
You guys are yin and yang, if you will.
We're very yin and yang.
Yin
Me and
and
Michael
yang.
actually discuss this a lot of the time.
How we balance each other out.
Both in our friendship and in our like working together, because like I have to keep him from like stressing the fuck out and going old quickly, and he has to keep me from being a lazy piece of shit. So there's a give and take there between us.
That's true. You are a lazy piece of shit.
And you are a fucking high-strung, neurotic motherfucker.
That's true. That's very, very, very true. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bam-bam. Time to thank our sponsors.
Woo! Sponsor thanking time.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Le Chat Noir. Le Chat Noir is a black box theater here in downtown Augusta, just on the corner of 8th and Ellis, right off Broad Street. This theater has an attached lobby with a full-service bar that echoes a 19th century cabaret Well, after one too many absence. Like its namesake, Le Chat Noir exists to produce and present entertainment to the CSRA that was previously not being offered.
And Michael, is there possibly a website that I could go to get more information about Le
I
Chat
was
Noir?
literally about to say that, Bryson. It's lcnaugusta.com, lcnaugusta.com. You can find information on tickets. You can also find merch. You can find content on past productions. But most importantly, you can find our tickets to First Friday XTG Schrodinger's Cat. lcnaugusta.com. Go to our website for more details. But I have my ways of chilling out. I don't drink. I used to drink. But it made me sad and it made me sick. It made me sick all the time. Like, even like I have a sip of beer and I'll be like, oh, my tummy hurts.
My tummy hurts.
Oh, I don't like this wheat beer. I had a beer at Cheers in Boston. I drank one beer and I was like, oh, I had to like, but I didn't want to seem like a bitch. I'm in Cheers. I'm in Sam Malone's bar.
Okay,
the
so
place where everybody knows your name, and I was not gonna not drink a beer there.
So were you in like the bar that they shot Cheers in, or like a Cheers themed bar?
I was at the Cheers themed bar, but it made exactly like it, but it was in Boston. But I did go to the other Cheers themed bar. But the most important thing was I was there in Boston during 420, and unfortunately, weed just became legal there. So I was in New York at the time, and I took a bus over to Boston. I was filming The Deuce in New York, and I came over to Boston. And I was so stoked because I knew weed was legal, and as soon as I got off the bus, I was going to walk into the dispensary and meet up with my friend Nicky Mack. Shout out to my Boston boy, Nicky Mack. He's a loyal listener to the show.
Love you, Nikki.
Nicky,
how you doing?
Mack.
Listen to Bottle Up and Explode.
Look at you motherfucker, you.
Hey, Nikki.
All right, Brandon, that was weird. You see what we did? It was funny. What you did. Scared
weird.
Nick. Now he's not going to listen anymore.
Don't abandon me.
Hold on one second. Sorry, Bryson.
What? No, come on, man. What the fuck?
I know. Not to make any more goddamn jokes. You son of a... Sorry. You just edit and you say nice things. Shh.
Michael, was Brandon acting up again?
No, Brandon's fine, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Anyway, so I was in Boston, and I go to the dispensary. It's the first thing I do when I get off the bus. And I was looking for the weed! And I walk into the dispensary, and the guy's like, can I see your ID? And I'm thinking, oh, of course, you know, I'm gonna make sure I'm 21. Show my ID, and he goes, oh, man, you can't get in here. I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about, man? He goes, it's only for residents right now. And if you have a medicinal card, and I was just like,
Fucking Boston.
What are you saying?
These Boston municipality lawmakers.
I was like, what are you saying? So anyway, it was a pretty cool experience. We ended up working it out. I was in Boston for, that was a really cool experience. Do you remember your first time smoking weed?
I remember my first time smoking weed vividly. Would you like to hear about it?
I mean, I guess.
All right. So my first time smoking, so I'm 20 now. My first time smoking was when I believe I was 16. And I was,
me too. I was 16 also.
hell yeah, we're on time with this. So when I was 16, I was very involved in community theater, much as I am now, but it was at a different local theater. Shall remain nameless. So I was doing a lot of shows there, and obviously I had a lot of friends there. And for those of you involved in the theater community, you'll know this, but those of you not involved may not. People in the theater community, especially young people, smoke a lot of weed generally, right? It seems to be a pretty all around loved pastime in the theater community. So it was pretty simple, really. Some of my older friends that I've been doing shows with for years, very close friends of mine, a lot of which I still keep up with to this day. Shout out to you guys, you know who you are. Me and another friend of mine who had never smoked before, they had asked us like a few days before, like, hey, Friday after the show, because it was like opening week, or maybe it was like second weekend or something, but whatever. Friday after the show, they were like, hey, we were all going to go back to unnamed friend's apartment and smoke and chill and blah, 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 have a good night. Would you guys care to join and partake? And obviously me and an unnamed friend who had also never smoked before decided to partake. So we went with them. It was a huge event. They really rolled out the red carpet for us. They packed a bong, rolled a blunt,
Rolled out a red carpet.
yeah, they did it all. Packed a one hitter. I didn't know how to hit a bong at the time because it's always tricky learning how to hit a bong, obviously. So
It's not for the beginners.
it's not a beginner sport. So my friend actually pulled it like full and then just pulled out the slide, and I just inhaled the smoke. Right. So I like secondhand hit the bong. I hit the bong without all the work. But the worst part was easily the one hitter. So I hit your one hitter a lot now, or at least I have before, and I've like gotten better about
Are
it.
you talking about like the oil itself, or are you talking about like a one?
No, like a one.
Oh yeah, we used
like
to do that. Yeah, that's been a long time since we've done that.
And so they had a one hitter, and I hit it, and it was it's probably honestly still to this day the worst I've ever got like burnt or just like the worst cough I've ever had smoking. That shit was horrific. But yeah, it was a good time. I actually don't remember feeling many effects. Did you have a similar experience? I don't remember like really getting high until maybe my second or third time smoking.
So it's funny you say that. So as I mentioned before, I was also 16 when I first started smoking, and it was not too far from my house. It was at my friend's house. I won't say his name, protect him. So we'd grown up together, and as a self-defense mechanism in school, I got into comedy, and I used to make jokes about weed a lot, even though I had never tried weed, smoked weed. But all my friends always wanted to smoke me out because they were like, oh my God, it'd be amazing if I got you high and you got to make jokes like this when you're high. So everybody in my class wanted to get me high, so I took my friend up on his offer, and I went over to his house. Like I said, I was 16, and he didn't have a bong, he didn't have a joint, he didn't have anything. So it turned into like an episode of Home Improvement of, let me show you how to make a bong out of a water bottle.
Oh, so he made you a Jeep for your first time?
For my first time.
Oh, that's fucking horrific.
And
that's horrible.
It was terrible. And he showed me how to do it. And I was like, man, this is what smoking weed's like. It did not taste great.
This is what weed's like. It fucking sucks ass. Is this what it's like?
It made me feel like I was like I was doing something worse than weed. It was like,
yes, it does.
Seemed more desperate. It was like, I gotta get it any way I can. He was like, he looked at me, do you have an apple? I'm like, oh my God, no.
That's exactly what I tell. Shout outs to Paul again and my other friends. That's how it is, man. They fucking, when you're hitting out of a Jeep, it looks like you're doing something, like you said, so much harder than weed. It looks like horrible.
It's like we were sweating through it. It's like, I gotta get this, man. I gotta get this shit out.
Exactly it.
Fuck. I got this water bottle here. Yeah. I see what we can do. So we do it, and we go to the backyard behind the shed, and we smoke, and then we go inside, and I'm not really feeling anything. And he's like, hey, why don't we watch Pineapple Express? Like, and I'm like,
fantastic
perfect
movie.
Film. I'm like, oh yeah, what a film to get high to on your first time. And I'm not really feeling anything. And then these girls come over, and they start talking, and they start asking like, oh, your first time, how you feeling? I'm like, yeah, I'm just not feeling anything. And then one of the girls goes over to pet my friend's dog. She's like a little chihuahua, and she reaches over, and the dog snips at her, and I go, whoa, oh my God. Oh shit, I'm high. Oh God. I'm like laughing at what's happening. And then I'm also laughing at the fact that I'm like, I feel high and this is crazy. And some things never changed because that laughter soon went to paranoia because I was like, what time is it? It's 4:30. My mom's going to be home at 5. And I immediately ran home because he lived real close to me. I ran home, all the way home, ran to the backyard, and I jumped in the pool fully clothed because I was scared that my parents would be able to smell the weed on my clothes. So I was like, they'll never smell it now.
I thought it was because you thought you were like being chased by a swarm of bees or something.
Nope. I was just scared that my mom was going to get home before me and smell it on my clothes. So because I remember the smell. It was like, it was not great weed, and it was also like probably
your first time never
a dip bottle.
So not a positive experience.
So not a positive, other than like the laughter. It was a good time. We had snacks and watched Pineapple Express, and I watched a girl get bit by a dog, which is always fun.
I mean, like I said, mine was the whole opposite. They really had it ready for me. I mean, like I said, multiple mechanisms to try out, plenty of weed, good friends. It was a good time.
Was that your worst experience? Would you say classify that as your worst experience?
My first time being my worst?
Yeah.
Oh, not even close.
What was your
not
worst
even close. So my worst experience was probably. So I've got two stories. I'm just gonna hit one of them. So this is probably the worst one. About 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, so at this point I'm a grown up smoker boy, and I decided that it's time for me to buy a bong, right? You know, that's just a purchase every pothead makes once they graduate to a higher level. They buy a bong. So I go to the vape shop or the head shop, you know, whatever. Buy a bong. Didn't cost too much. It was a nice little, just regular classic glass beaker bong. Cool. Took it home, and so all you smokers will know that the first day you buy a piece, you have to smoke out of it. It's good luck, right? So I go home, put the water in it, get my weed, and I go sit out in the front yard, and I'm just ripping this thing. And at this point in my life, I had a pretty good tolerance built up because I'd been smoking a lot. But I ripped this motherfucker. I mean, like full milky rips, had to be like 8 or 9 times. Just because that's just what I did. And I got so fucking high that I puked twice. Have you ever gotten so high that you puked?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I got so high that I'm sitting on the couch in my room, sweating my ass off, and like the room is spinning, and it's just horrible. And then I puke all over I have like this little coffee table in my room, puke all over this motherfucker, go to the bathroom, and I'm like shitting my brains out, and I'm trying not to puke again all over the floor. I mean, this is some devil weed. This weed fucked me slap up. I also hit way too much of it, so that also had something to do with it.
That'll do it to you.
I mean, there is a condition actually. I mean, like you, it is possible to smoke too much weed. Like
It's possible.
it'll make you throw up nonstop until you stop smoking so much weed.
Correct.
Oh, well,
That's
I
the
mean,
thing.
that shit got me that day.
It's true. The worst time, I wouldn't consider it the worst time because I've had experiences where like I'm gonna fucking die. I mean, but there was this one time when I was in Los Angeles and I was with my friend Drew and Mickey, and we were coming out of Upright Citizens Brigade in LA, and this was our last night there. I had such a great time. It was so funny. We saw Jason Mantzoukas and Drew Tarver, like really, really, really funny guys. And we go to the hills of LA, and Mickey was like, I hope you guys, shout out to Mickey Lay, it's our boy. He goes, you guys, I hope you really enjoyed yourself. And he pulls out one of the fattest joints I've ever seen in my life that he rolled himself, not a pre-roll deal. He did it himself. And he's like, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And he passes it, and I smoke it, and we're just smoking it together. And he goes, I'm going to take you guys to the best taco stand in LA. And we go, and I'm riding in the car, and I'm not feeling so good. Not even like a little queasy.
It's that LA weed, man. Your South Carolina body, your Georgia body's not ready for it.
Yeah, I had just come from Denver, and I just had some Denver weed, and that was some pretty good stuff. But this LA stuff, whoa. So we're in the car ride, and I'm feeling more paranoid because I'm like in a city I don't know. I'm in the back of a car. I'm a little hot. I'm not feeling so awesome. And then we pull up to the taco stand, and he's like, here it is. You guys ready? And I look at Mickey, and I look him right in the eyes, and I go, hey, man, I'm not leaving this car right now.
That's how you know you're high, when you start drawing hard lines in the sand about things.
Yeah, how rude. I'm a guest in his house. I'm a guest in his house. I'm in his car, and I look him in the eye, and he's bigger than me. He beat the shit out of me. And I just go, I am not leaving this car. And he goes, all right, buddy, well, I mean, I guess we can go to In-N-Out again. Go through the drive-thru. And we went to In-N-Out, and I think we also ordered a pizza on top of that. And I just killed both of them and passed the fuck out. I mean, that part of the night was awesome. But there was like this LA nightmare for a minute where I was like, where am I? This place is weird. But it was definitely a culture shock being there, but it was really, really wild weed. Today's episode of Bottle Up and Explode is brought to you by the Alley Downtown Tap Room. The Alley Downtown Tap Room is the #1 place for craft beer. They have 48 taps with a variety of beer, ciders, wine, kombuchas, sodas, and coffee. Pay by the ounce or pay by the pint. Now, like a lot of businesses, the Alley Downtown Tap Room is going they're a real tricky time right now. So their hours are limited right now. So check their website out for that. You can also check their website for to purchase a gift card, beer, or merch. You can find that information on the alleydowntowntaproom.com. Again, that's the alleydowntowntaproom.com.
Now, Michael, is there some sort of VIP text list I could get involved with to get more information?
Absolutely, Bryson. You can sign up for the VIP text list by texting BHOPPY, BEHOPPY, BHOPPY to 31996. Again, that's text BHOPPY to 31996. On that trip, yeah, like I said, I also went to Denver. So Denver was the first stop. Denver also has really good weed. Very lax about it, too. Just can't go in federal buildings. Don't drive with it. Stuff like that.
Yeah, all the normal things.
All the normal things you'd expect. I have another good weed story. I'll save that for another time. Remind me.
I was going to say
episode.
I've got tons of weed stories. We can bust
funny
out
ass weed stories.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that one next week. But one thing about Denver. So I thought it was weird initially that they legalized medicinal shrooms. Medicinal shrooms, Sean Connery. No, I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, "What? Okay, Denver's getting a little weird, a little too liberal."
Those goddamn liberals out in Denver legalizing shrooms. What's next? Peyote.
Peyote.
What's after that? Mescaline. What else they gonna do? God damn it!
Address mental health issues.
What do you think they might do next? Institute a living wage.
God damn it. Goddamn liberals. And they're wanting to give everybody a good life.
Those fucking bastards. So yeah, they you said they legalized mushrooms for medicinal use?
Yeah. So and I thought that was really strange. And then I started doing actual research into it.
And you learn that they're actually a really good thing.
They are. So they use them to treat PTSD, soldiers coming home from war specifically, or any traumatic issue you faced in your life. They also help terminal patients cope with death. Mm-hmm. And I also watched an episode of
the Midnight Gospel.
Of the Midnight Gospel. I did, actually, which was
a good ass show.
Great show.
Shout outs to the Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel,
and,
Netflix.
God, what's the motherfucker hosting it? Any other day I could have said his name perfectly, but today it's going to escape me.
It's going to escape you.
Duncan Trussell.
Nice. Good job. There he is. So, great show. They kind of address that, but also it's a show with Gwyneth Paltrow's company. Is it called Goop? Goop.
I have no clue.
But her company tries different stuff. I've only watched the first episode, but I was really interested in it, and I'm glad I did. They talk about trying shrooms, but they do it with a licensed therapist, which some would call a shaman, if you will. But this is a licensed therapist that has gone through the experience of taking shrooms and like have processed it with a therapist, so they understand like, okay, so when you give your patient or client these shrooms, you know what to do to take them to help them process what they're going through. I think it was super fascinating. And
well, also, I mean, short of like hiring a full-on therapist, I'm a firm believer that with anything that you decide to do, if you decide to smoke weed for the first time, if you decide to drink for the first time, if you decide to do just about anything for the first time, I mean, why not learn about it? You know what I'm saying? Why not at least like, even if
research, bro,
not just like, cause, I'm not saying this in a way of like, hey man, you should read up on that. That shit's really bad for you. Cause it's not. I've already stated once before that I think, shrooms in particular are very, very safe and good for you. That's what all the evidence seems to show anyway. But if you're going to do anything, even if it's something that you're hell bent on doing, at least like take the time to learn about it,
We talked about it. We've talked about doing it. You've done them before. I've never done them.
Okay, yeah. So I have done them, yes, and it was something.
And my thing is this. I told you it was like I want to do it in a setting where I feel comfortable, in a setting where I feel like I would be able to process what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where I feel. Because I would want to do it.
I mean, so back to the research, if you take the time to learn about them and you do read up about them, like that's what they tell you to do anyway.
That's not what I mean though. I'm not talking about like what I'm going to experience. I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on the show. I'm a huge fan of efficiency. So if I can knock out multiple things while I'm doing something, like I take
Like jerking off while you're driving.
exactly.
Yes.
I'm traveling and jerking off. And anyway, no, not like that. But
Couldn't tell if you were coming or going. Stole that from George Carlin. Shout out to George Carlin from the grave.
God damn it, Bryson. Fuck, you made me forget what I was saying.
You're talking about wanting to do shrooms, but wanting to do them in an efficient manner where you
I
want to
do it in an efficient manner.
process.
Okay. So I want to do things I do things in an efficient manner. And let me elaborate a little bit on that. I like to take efficient vacations. So when I went to Los Angeles and Denver, I did everything I wanted to do in that trip. So I went to Denver, saw an Avett Brothers concert at Red Rocks, and then went to LA, did the LA things I wanted to do, and went to Disneyland too. So I knocked out all the things I wanted to do on the West Coast, or most of the things I wanted to do on the West Coast in that trip. Like this summer, I was going to take a trip to Portland, Seattle, Vancouver.
And do euthanasia.
And do, Jesus Christ. No, and do like a trip, those are 3 states I wanted to see. Or
And go
2
to an
states
overly
and a
expensive
country.
cafe.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And listen to Nirvana. And go to a place where it paid $20 to say Nirvana stood here once.
Big facts, I did.
But anyway, I digress about that. So I like efficiency. So when I want to take this trip, I want to feel a certain way. I want to see things, but I also want to come out of it learning something and understanding it. I don't want to be in a situation where I take shrooms and it's like, wow, I just had this really beautiful moment in my life that I really don't quite understand, but it was something.
Well, okay.
But I want to be able to process this and understand it because, maybe it won't be for me. Maybe I take it once. I'm like, oh, I understand. And then that's it. That's all I want to do. I just want to do it that time.
Oh, I mean, I get the thought process behind that, and trust me, if that's how you're hell bent on doing it, then please, by all means, do it that way.
Because they say that shrooms open up your subconscious mind.
Open up your third eye, motherfucker.
Well, in the sense of that's where you bury your shit. It's where you something about when you're, and I don't want to misquote. It's like it's what you're thinking of when you're driving.
It's the wolf. It's the 2 wolves that live inside of you.
Yeah, you're driving. Your subconscious mind is your driving stuff and stuff you do that you're not even thinking about. I mean, that's obvious, but
well, I mean, there's several ways.
There's also that's also where you bury your shit.
Yeah.
So it unlocks that, and that's like okay.
So you think that if you did shrooms, you might forget how to drive?
That's exactly it.
That's like what you're worried about, right? You're worried you're going to do shrooms and forget how to drive. No. So
it's not like riding a bike,
You can forget how to drive.
You can forget how to drive.
Well, and also for observant listeners, on episode 1 I talked about getting a bike. Maybe a month before that I learned how to ride a bike. So as a 20-year-old who just learned how to ride a bike, I have not yet forgotten. So far the test of time has been stood. But back to shrooms, back to our third eyes. I think that I'm just going to talk about from my experience. So in my experience, I went into it having done a shit ton of research, having watched a shit ton of videos, having read, just did a bunch of learning, right? All around. Videos, documentaries, whatever, all throughout my life. Because another thing is I've been interested in learning about psychedelics and marijuana and just drugs and just shit like this in general since I was little. When I was in elementary school, how you signed the DARE banner? I know you probably did that at school. Or
I proudly signed the DARE banner.
Or some sort of, anti-drug, I'll never do this banner.
Sure.
In 5th grade, I was the only student that didn't sign it. And when asked by my teacher why I didn't sign it, I looked at my teacher and said, because I'm probably going to do drugs one day. In 5th grade, I knew what was up. So I've been taking the time, to learn about all this. So in my experience, I went into it pretty knowledgeable, about as knowledgeable as you can probably be without doing it. I don't want to say that because there's tons of little pedantic shit I could have learned, but all around pretty much knowing what I was getting myself into. And I had a great time. Did it with some close friends at a place I was very comfortable with. Made sure that, no one was going to bother us. We had, a sober person there hanging with us. Took a very low dose. So we each ate 2-ish grams, 2.5, which is Pretty small dose. I mean, that is, I will say, we were a bit irresponsible. That is more than they recommend usually for a first dose. They usually recommend like a gram and a half, maybe.
Sure.
So we did jump in a little bit, and it was a very intense experience.
Did you have any major breakthroughs?
No, see, here's what I was gonna say. So no, I didn't, because it's still very small dose, and it's a very, still in the grand scheme of what it can become, a very limited experience. But it's like, I feel like if anything, my first mushroom trip taught me how going forward with it, because I fully, before doing them the first time and after doing them the first time and right to this very moment, fully intend on doing them in the future again, right? So if anything, it gave me a healthy respect where it's like, okay, now I've learned about it and now I've done it. So it's like, now I really know kind of how deep the water can go. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like. I had a great experience. Nothing about my experience was bad. Didn't even have any come up anxiety, which is one of the biggest things they tell you might have when you're first getting into the trip. You might get anxious or you might get sick to your stomach. Got none of that. Had a great time, beautiful time. One of the best experiences of my life. Talk to me personally if you want to hear me really gush about it. But it taught me going forward, like, okay, these motherfuckers made me feel that good. That means that if shit goes whack, they can definitely make me feel that bad.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's what I'm scared of. So the point I'm trying to make about shrooms is I feel like it could get to the problem a lot quicker. Like, I feel like you should go in, get those intro meetings with your therapist, get to know each other, get comfortable to open up sometimes.
And then bust out the shrooms. But if it's proven to be helpful, if it's proven to help with depression and with helping cope with like terminal patients cope with death and help with PTSD, then I think we should really give it a try. People need to take, I'm standing on on my little stand here, but mental health needs to be taken as seriously as any sort of bodily health. It's physical health. Your mental health is physical health. It's the same thing. And It's just your health.
yeah. And if shrooms have been proven to help with that, then help people. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a try.
Plus, also, I mean, the libertarian in me is just sitting here saying, why is any of this shit illegal? Just fucking let people, like, dude.
God damn it, libertarians.
I'm that full on drug legal person. I think
let's just legalize cocaine.
Acid, yeah, I mean, fuck if someone wants to do it,
man. Let's just get the stuff. Let's get the stuff that helps people first. Okay,
all right, we'll focus on getting the stuff that helps people.
Selfish bastard.
And then we'll move on to really what the end goal is, which is letting people do what they want to do.
You're over here like all drugs matter, fucking douche.
I love that. Perfect. So, Michael, I've enjoyed talking to you this week or this day.
This hour. This fine hour.
This beautiful hour and a half we've been sitting in here.
Sure.
Do you have any thoughts? Have any takeaways?
As I just said prior, just give shrooms a chance, man.
Give shrooms a chance,
man. No, honestly, just hold on. Sorry.
Well, while you're figuring out what you're figuring out, I would like to say that my takeaways are: fuck Paul, big fucks to Paul. Thank you to my theater friends for introducing me into the wonderful world of marijuana, of consensual marijuana smoking with close friends, and give mushrooms a chance.
And my final thoughts are going to be this: though we do enjoy smoking marijuana, we do it safely and we do it legally. Okay, I'm sorry, we do it safely, and that's it. Obviously, it's illegal. So do at your own risk. But the point I'm trying to make is don't drive and smoke. Don't be stupid about it. Don't give it to little kids. Don't be an asshole. You're an adult. You can have it, fine. But don't give it to kids. Don't hang around the school or the Chuck E. Cheese's, if you will, trying to sell you dope because I come get you.
Even
my name's Officer Terry
It may be
Holt.
very enticing to get a good $35 a gram off of those middle schoolers.
God
just
damn.
don't do it. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. I know they're going to be like, how much will this get me? And it's $100 bill they took from grandma's purse.
And
But
then
don't
you give them
take
like a gram or two.
it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. If
Even
they're gonna
though
give you
hitting
100
that lick seems very enticing.
if
Don't
they're
do
going to
it.
give you $100, give them at least a quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Give at least a quarter.
Give them at least a quarter.
Hell
man.
yeah.
But that's my stance on things, Bryson.
Wonderful. You've been listening to Bottle Up and Explode with Bryson and Michael. I'm Bryson.
I'm Michael.
Thank you.
Two best friends just brought it out, and now it's time to go. But tune in next week, you sexy motherfuckers, for another episode of Bottle Up and Explode.
Tune in every Sunday on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Thank you.
Bottle up and explode.